ॐ मुकुन्दमूर्ध्ना प्रणिपत्ययाचे भवन्तमेकान्तमियन्तमर्थम् अविस्मृतिस्त्वच्चरणारविन्दे भवे भवे मेस्तु भवत्प्रसादात्। Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. We have been studying the 11th chapter presently of Srimad Bhagavad Geetā, and this is the most picturesque chapter of all the 18, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna shows his cosmic form, where the entire universe is contained in his single form. Vishwarupa Darshana is the name of this chapter, and we have gone up to the 12th verse in the last class, held last Wednesday morning in India or Tuesday evening in the West. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhave Yugapaduttita Yadi Bha Sadrishi Sa Syad Bhasastasya Mahatmanaha. These are the words in the 12th verse, and these are said by Sanjaya. From the 9th verse till the 14th verse are words of Sanjaya. Sanjaya makes this exclamation: if there were to be 1,000 suns rising together, all that brightness perhaps would be less than the brightness which Arjuna beheld in the cosmic form of Sri Krishna. Shankaracharya himself says, maybe Sri Krishna's cosmic form had as much brilliance as 1,000 suns rising, or perhaps more. Yadiva nasyat, we read last time. And we have said before that when the Manhattan Project took place, starting in August 1942 and ending in August 1945. As you know, in August 1945, those two bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki were dropped in Japan. In that month, this project also was brought to a close. It was first experimented on a certain desert in the state of New Mexico in the United States, and Robert Oppenheimer was the project leader. When the experiment was conducted and a huge explosion took place, the mushroom-shaped figure arose in the sky with a lot of light, lot of smoke, all that. There are pictures and probably a couple of videos in the media, in the YouTube and so on. Robert Oppenheimer said to a colleague, or noted in his mind and later shared with friends, my mind went to that particular verse in the Bhagavad Geetā, where the brilliance of Sri Krishna's form was compared by Sanjaya with the rising of 1,000 suns. This day, the atomic explosion brought that scenario to my mind. Thus, Gita has drawn the attention for several centuries now from people around the world, and Gita has impacted the lives of people of all faiths in different ways. We shall proceed now to what more Sanjaya says. Sanjaya has remarks to make in two more verses. In the 13th, the advisor and I guess the charioteer of Dhritarashtra says in the 13th verse, Tatraikastam jagat krishnam pravibhaktamanekadha apashyad deva devasya sharire pandavaha tada. Pandava refers here, of course, to Arjuna. Apashyad, Arjuna saw Deva Devasya Sharire, in the body, in the form of God of all gods. Devanam Devaha, Deva Devaha. There are many God forms, and this shloka pays a special tribute to Sri Krishna, calling him the God of all gods, the highest form. Sanjaya says, Tatra, in that form of Sri Krishna, ekastam apashyat. Arjuna saw everything ekastam, eke or ekasmin tishtati. Everything was found at one place. As a Tippanakara rightly says, this ekastam represents what Sri Krishna had said towards the end of the previous chapter. In verse 42, Bhagavan Vasudeva said, Arjuna, there's no need really to go on telling you all my glories. In the 42nd verse we have, Vishtabhyahamidam kritsnam ekamshena stito jagat. I pervade, I envelop, I cover all this universe, entire universe, ekanshena, in just one part of mine. So that's what is displayed now. That's what comes true here for Arjuna to see with his divine eyes. Deva Devasya Sharire Kritsnam, the entirety of creation, Pravibhaktam, having numerous, countless divisions, countless varieties, so much of diversity, all at one place, ekastam. Sharire Pandava apashyat. Apashyat means drishtavan. Dadarsha. We have Arjuna beholding all this with great awe. Shankaracharya gives a brief commentary on this 13th sloka. Kincha tatra tasmin vishwarupe. Ekasmin sthitam ekastam jagat krishnam entire pravibhaktam anekadaha. In countless varieties or categories. What does it mean to say categories? Deva Pitra Manushyadi Bedaihi. There were gods, Indra, Varuna, and so on. Pitras, departed souls. Manushya, even human beings. Even Pandavas were seen. Kauravas were seen. Everything was seen. Apashya Deva Devasya Harehe Sharire Pandavaha Arjunaha Tada. That's as simple as that. And in the last verse in the mouth of Sanjaya, at this point, it is said, ततः स विस्मयाविष्टो हृष्टरोमा धनञ्जयः प्रणम्य शिरसा देवम् कृताञ्जलिरभाषत। विस्मयाविष्टः, तृतीया तत्पुरुष समास we call it. Vismayena avishta. He was overwhelmed with wonderment, with shock, with astonishment, with being unable to believe. Oh, is this all true? Vismayena avishtaha, dhrishta romaha. All his, or maybe Ramaha is not right. Roma is Roman word perhaps. So dhrishta Roma. No visarga. Roma is hair on the body. Kesha is hair on the head. Roma is the bald hair all over the body. All the hair on his head stood on their ends. Drishta is delighted elsewhere. Here it is as though getting up and standing up. All hair on his body stood on their ends. Dhananjaya. Sanjaya calls Arjuna here Dhananjaya, who brought lot of wealth to the country which he represented. And such Dhananjaya Arjuna pranamya shirasa devam, bowing down before Lord Sri Krishna, pranamam kritva shirasa, by bowing down his head before Devam, before Krishna, Kritanjali, bringing his hands together in a form called Anjali, Abhashata, Avadat. Kritanjali Abhashata. He spoke. This is the report by Sanjaya. Again, Bhashyakara Sri Shankaracharya is pretty brief on this. Tataha tam drishtva, seeing Sri Krishna in this fashion, Vismayena avishtaha, Vismayavishtaha, Hrishtani Romani. Like karma becomes karma karmani karmani, nama becomes nama namani namani. I guess Roma, I have to verify this. Probably it is like that. Or it could be like Phala Shabda, we'll verify. Hrishtani Romani yasya saha. All his Roma, all his hair. I know in Italian, the city of Rome is called Roma. So next time you meet somebody from Rome, you may say, oh, does your city mean a strand of hair on a human body? Don't mix English with Italian or Sanskrit with Greek. Romani, all the hair stood on their ends. Soyam Hrishta Roma cha Abhavat. Yeah, it confirms it is Roman Shabda. Otherwise, in the Bhashya it would have been, if it were like Phala Shabda, then Hrishta Roma, then next cha would have gone into a Sandhi, Hrishta Romascha it would have become, it doesn't. Those of you who are looking at the Bhashya see, Hrishta Roma, no Sa or Sha or Visarga. And that is when a compound has no Visarga, if the constituent word ends with na, like Atman, Brahman, Naman, Karman. So Roman is the original word. Krishta Roma. Phala also becomes Phalani, but it's Akaranta. But Roman is Nakaranta. That also in plural becomes Roman. Nama Namani Namani. Karma Karmani Karmani. Neuter. Krishta Roma cha Bhavat Dhananjaya. Arjuna, who is called Dhananjaya, had horripilation. Pranamya means prakarshena namanam krutva. Bowing down, saluting Sri Krishna with tremendous amount of feeling, tremendous amount of emotion. Prahvi bhutaha. Prahvi bhutaha also means bowing down or showing enormous respect to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Shirasa Devam Vishwarupadharam. Who was this Deva? Sri Krishna, who presently was wearing his cosmic form. Kritanjali Namaskarartam Samputi Kritahastaha. His two hands came together to create a samputa. Samputa is something like you bring the two hands together as though you are holding some flowers, holding some water in those two hands. Samputi Kritahastasan Abhashata Bhuktavan. In his great kindness, Bhagavan Bhashyakara explains simple shlokas also, giving sometimes Vigrahavakya. That is how a long samasa, compound word, could be split. Sanskrit is full of compound words which have a special charm, which certainly add beauty to the language. For that matter, all languages, I guess, in the world do have compounds, but much less. In English too, you have a compound word, soap box. Soap box means a box in which a soap is kept. But if you say metal box, a box made of metal. See how the Vigraha Vakya explanation. When I first went to the United States in 1993, within a month or two, I saw some places where it was written coin wash. I didn't know what this coin wash was. I thought old coins could be given here and they will wash them clean and give the cleaned up, shining coins back to you. Then I understood it is nothing to do with washing coins. You put a coin, maybe half a dollar, $1, or a couple of coins, into a machine. Then you can use the washing machine for a certain period, maybe 45 minutes or 1 hour. In fact, in the 5 years, those days that I spent at a stretch in the country, once or twice because of some confusion, I myself walked to a nearby coin wash, carrying some quarters or dollars or something, coins, and went and looked at the here is the okay, okay, here you put it and put some clothes. You know, not that there was nobody, people were ready, but I didn't tell them well in time. The last minute I said, oh, now let me do it myself. Coin wash. So there the Vigraha Vakya. If somebody asks what is meant by coin wash, you will have to say a place where you may get your clothes washed in their washing machine by dropping a coin or two into a little slit in the machine, the equipment. A long Vigrahavakya. But Sanskrit has countless kinds of samasas. In Bhagavad Geetā, there are beautiful compounds. One of my favorites is Nanagni Dagda Karmanam Tamahu Panditam Buddhaha. There's a shloka, there's a line, I guess, in the fourth chapter. Nanagni Dagda Karma. Someone whose karmas are burnt by the fire of wisdom. Jnana, wisdom, Agni, fire, Dagda, burnt, karma, actions. Four words come together to create a single compound word in which there is Karmadharaya, in which there is Tatpurusha, in which there is Bahuvrihi. Three other kinds of compounds come together in a larger compound to create that word, Jnana, Agni, Dagda, Karma. Then that compound is taken to the second case, Jnana, Agni, Dagda, Karmanam, Tamahu, Panditam, Buddhaha. Now, Sanjaya is reporting, and now it is Arjuna's turn to express his joy, his excitement, his being transported to another level of consciousness, as though Shankaracharya writes, connecting the 14th shloka in the mouth of Sanjaya to the 15th shloka, which is from the mouth of Arjuna. Katham, how did Arjuna get so excited? How did he speak? Yatvaya darshitam vishwarupam tadaham pashyamiti swa anubhavam avishkurvan Arjuna vacha. Arjuna spoke swa anubhavam avishkurvam. Avishkara is expressing, giving expression to. In him, within him, Arjuna is experiencing unbelievable amount of joy, excitement, and many emotions of that sort. Anubhavam, swa anubhavam avishkurvan, expressing it. Why? How did he get there? Tvaya darshitam vishwarupam. He now says to Sri Krishna, this form that you are showing me now fills me with joy unspeakable. And therefore Arjuna utters these words. Arjuna uvacha pashyami devanstava deva dehe sarvans tatha bhuta vishesha sanghan brahmanamisham kamalasanastham rishinscha sarvan uraganscha divyan. Perhaps deliberately, Vedavyasa puts all these verses starting with this 15th verse. Quite a good number. You have now a stretch or a string of 17 verses. And these 17 verses begin with this 15th verse. And yes, all these 17th verses, all the way till the 31st, all of them, with no exception, I am able to see here, are in Trishtup, while majority of verses in Bhagavad Geetā, more than 600 I suppose, are in Anushtup, only 8 syllables in each quarter. Rest of them in the Gita are in Trishtup. There is no third meter. In many other works, you have many meters, several chandas. So Trishtup is longer, not too long, but in place of 8 syllables, ucharanshas in one quarter, Trishtup has 11. Trishtup has come before too. Even in the second chapter, there are some Trishtup verses. Most well known or much quoted is Apuryamana pratishtam samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvad. There is a shloka. Or why before that also, in second chapter, right away, you have Arjuna in the 5th verse expresses his inner conflict. How can I kill my own teachers? And that 5th verse probably is the first Trishtup verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 5th verse. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum vaikshyamapi haloke hatvartha kamanstu guru nihaiva unjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. There also, not in just one, but 4 verses, Arjuna gives vent to his anguish, his unbearable conflict inside himself. So coming back to 11th chapter, Arjuna says, and the words of Arjuna, which might have been in prose when he actually said, are put into poetry by Vedavyasa, And with his supreme knowledge and extraordinary superhuman powers, we have reason to believe that Vyasa would not have distorted Arjuna's expressions or sentiments even to the extent of an iota. Pashyami, I behold, O Deva, O Divine One. I behold in your body, Tavadehe, Devan, so many God forms, entire celestial, semi-celestial beings are all seen in this one form of yours. Sarvan, no one is left out, all. Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan, groups and groups, hordes and hordes of living beings, various, maybe Yaksha, Kinnara, Gandharva, and all of them. And I see Brahmanam Isham. Chaturmukha Brahma is called Isha. This Isha is not Ishvara or Shiva. This Isha is an adjective to Brahma because it is placed in the middle of Brahmanam and Kamalasanastam. It is said in Sanskrit, words can be kept anywhere, they will all connect up properly. Not 100% true. To a greater extent than in any other language, that freedom, that flexibility is found in Sanskrit. You can have the words scattered, but because each word has its case, number, and gender, vibhakti, vachana, and linga. Vibhakti, one of the seven, pratama, dvitiya, etc., or even sambodhana. Number, ekavachana, dvivachana, and bahuvachana. And gender, Srilinga, Pullinga, Napunsakalinga. Every word, every namapada or visheshana has these three and they match. So there are many instances. Yes, the adjective is found in one corner, noun is found in another corner. In between there may be three or four other words, but the noun and the adjective connect together because of having the same case, number, and gender. But some places, like here, it is not appropriate to take Isha out of the picture and say Isha for Shiva here. Brahmanam Kamalasanastam. Chaturmukha Brahma seated upon a lotus, and Isha Shabda is in the middle, and it doesn't have some other word to connect to, and it matches with Brahma. It matches with Kamalasanasta. Therefore, it is Brahma's description only. Chaturmukha Brahma, who is great Lord. Isha means Lord, ruler. And he is seen upon lotus, a divine lotus as his seat. I behold, Pashyami, Rishin cha, Uragan cha. Uraga can mean serpent, it can mean a whole genre of serpent-like figures. Divyan, all of them are divine. So you find the 11th chapter having so much poetry, so much grandeur about the descriptions. Therefore, from the point of view of Sanskrit literature, 11th chapter may as well stand on top among all the 18 chapters because of so many illustrations, picturesque descriptions. Pashyami, Bhashyakara says, means upalabhe. I obtain, I get here, I get to see here. Upalabhe. He Deva Tavadehe Devan Sarvan Tata Bhusha Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan Bhuta Visheshanam Stavara Jangamanam of living beings, some move, some stay at one place. Stavara is staying at one place, Jangama is moving. Long back I heard about a certain fish in, I guess, South Pacific Ocean. Maybe they are found elsewhere too. But somebody who went scuba diving somewhere in the Pacific Ocean to the west of USA, said he with his own eyes beheld certain variety of fish about which he had heard before. That little fish, shall we call it Jangama or Stavara? In a way, Jangama, it moves, but in another sense, that fish could be called Stavara, stationary, because from the time it is born till it dies, Mr. Raj Jaswa told me, Swamiji, I went scuba diving and I saw with my own eyes that fish about which I had heard, but I saw. From the time it is born till it dies, it stays within a space in the sea. There are no walls, it can go anywhere, but it doesn't. It stays in the space of 1 cubic foot, 1 foot width, 1 foot length, 1 foot height, 1 foot. So 1 foot, 3 dimensions, 1 cubic foot. It remains there, though it has all the freedom to go, it doesn't go. So to an extent, it is Stavara. Stavara, otherwise Stavara can mean hills and mountains, etc., which don't move. In IIT Madras, all the buses that move are named upon hills. Himalaya and some Vindhya. Buses which do not move, sorry, yeah, buses move, right? Buses move. Buses that move, buses in the campus, there are buses. The buses that move are named upon hills which do not move. And hostels which do not move are named upon rivers. I myself spent 2 years in a hostel called Brahmaputra. There was Kaveri, there was Ganga, there was Godavari. So, very strange. But then someone gave an explanation. Let me see if I can remember. Recently I heard. For 40 years I did not know that. But recently someone said a certain director or some head of the institution deliberately named the buses upon hills or mountains. So some hidden meaning was given. Something like their knowledge should flow and something like they should be very stable. But I don't know how, I don't remember very well how it's connected to buses and hostels. But there was a beautiful meaning given to it. So IIT Madras has hostels which are Stavara and buses which go around the campus as Jangama. Bhuta Visheshanam, Stavara Jangamanam, Nana Sanstana Visheshanam, Sangaha, Bhuta Vishesha Sangaha, Tan. So various descriptions attached to these. Kincha Brahmanam, Chaturmukham, Isham, Ishitaram, Prajanam. He is the ruler, he decides the fate. It is said Brahma decides how long someone should live. Brahma decides and then Yama, I guess, implements, executes. If someone has to die at the age of 97, that is given by Brahma. Brahma therefore is called Vidhi also. Vidhi, Vidhatra, Vidhata. Brahma decides. He rules. He gives the decree. This Jivatma in this body will be around for 97 years. Then he goes. Of course, he takes another body and shows up again on this earth or somewhere in another world. In that sense, he is the Ishitara. The Ishita. Ishita, Ishitaro, Ishitaraha, Ishitaram. Kamalasanastam. Prathivi Padma Madhye. Meru Karnikasanastam. Ityartha. So there is some Puranic description where the earth is compared with a lotus and Meru Karnika Asana. Some poetic description. So Meru Karnika Meru is certain mountain, that is also included in the metaphor. That is some kind of stalk in the lotus. So we'll have to refer to some Puranas to find out what is this strange connection. Earth is, let me see how, yes, a Tippanakara says, earth is the lotus and Meru is the Karnika. So lotus and probably Karnika could be a certain slightly raised area within the lotus. Upon that he is seated. You go to Puranas or in Mahabharata, there is a portion called Moksha Dharma. So Tippanakara says, if you want to know what is this description of earth being a lotus and the Meru mountain being the stalk, S-T-A-L-K, a rod-like structure or a raised platform, I would say. You want to know more details? He says, go to Moksha Dharma portion of Mahabharata and go to the 182nd section and 38th verse. Swami Satchidananda Saraswati was having enormous knowledge of Hindu scriptures, a great Advaita Vedantin who dedicated his life and worked with inexhaustible energy, excels by giving that kind of footnotes that shows his memory, that shows his presence of mind, that shows how he is entirely devoted to Shastradhyayana. All right. Brahmanamisham Kamalasanastam Pashyami, says Arjuna, Rishinscha Sarvan, Uraganscha Divyan. And Meru Karnika Asanastam Ityartha, Shankara, Rishinscha Vasishta Adin, Uraganscha Vasuki Prabhatin. Vasuki was a very, very preeminent snake. So, giving such examples, Divyan, Divi Bhavan, they are all of divine origin. They stay in heavens, in those higher worlds. Arjuna continues in his second verse of submission, Aneka Bahudara Vaktra Netram Pashyami Tva Sarvato Nantarupam Nantam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami Vishveshwara Vishwarupa. Aneka, having many bahu, arms, udara, stomachs, bellies, vaktra, mouth or even face, netra, eyes. So, bahu, udara, vaktra, netra, all of them are countless in that cosmic form. Sarvataha, in all respects, from all angles of you, Ananta Rupam, you just are infinite. In every respect, you are infinite. Na Antam, I don't see where this form ends. In whichever direction I move my head, I see your form extending over there. Namadhyam, I don't see the middle. Punaha, Adim, na, I can't see beginning. When there is no end and when there is no beginning, there cannot be middle also. A middle can be defined only if beginning and end are seen. Here is the beginning, here is the end, then we can see this is the midpoint. Vishveshwara, O ruler of the entire Vishwa universe, Vishwarupa, O one who has the form of the entire universe, I see this form of yours. Aneka Bahudara Vaktra Netram, Shankaracharya gives the Vigraha Vakya. Aneke Bahavaha Udarani Vaktrani Netrani Chayasya. Yasya, the one who has Vahavaha, arms, Udarani, stomachs, Vaktrani, Netrani cha. So mouths and eyes. Aneka Bahudara Vaktra Netra, Tam Aneka Bahudara Vaktra Netram Pashyami Twa means Twam. Sarvataha, Sarvatra, everywhere, in all directions. Ananta Rupam, Anantani Rupani Asyeti, Ananta Rupa. Shankara patiently gives the explanatory sentence for compound words. Ananta Rupam. Na Antam. Antaha is Avasanam, culmination. Avasana is coming to an end. The verbal form being Avasiyate. Avasana. So anything comes to an end, anything comes to its final form. Some places end means it may die. Some other place end means it comes to its final, most mature form, depending on the context. Antaha avasanam. Here it is ending. Na madhyam. Madhyam nama dvayoho kotyoho antaram. Antaram, right in the middle of two extremes. Koti means extreme. न पुनः तव आदिम तव देवस्य न अंतम न पश्यामि न मध्यम पश्यामि न पुनः आदिम पश्यामि हे विश्वेश्वर हे विश्वरूप. Thus it is taking it out of his chest. Arjuna tries to express his emotions. That helps him feel a little lighter. Otherwise, he is unable to bear those emotions that are rising inside him. किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रिणं च तेजो राशिं सर्वतो दीप्तिमन्तं पश्यामि त्वां दुर्निरीक्ष्यं समन्तात् दीप्तानलार्कद्युतिमप्रमेयम्. Kiritinam, having a crown, Gadinam, having a gada, that is mace, Chakrinam, having a disc or discuss in his hand. Tejo Rashim, he is such a huge mass of brilliance. Sarvataha Deeptimantam, his light shines in all directions. I see you, O Sri Krishna. You are of such form, Durniriksham, is so difficult to behold, so much of dazzling light. Samantat, I see you spread across in all directions. Deepta Anala Arka Dyutim. You are lighted up, and your duty, your light, is comparable with fire, with sun. Anala is fire, sun. Arka is sun. Aprameyam is immeasurable. Shankara gives Kirikincha Kiritinam. Kiritam Nama Shirobhushana Visheshaha. A crown is worn upon the head, we know it. One who has such a crown is Kiriti. Gada asya vidyate iti gadi. Chakram asya asti iti chakri. Tejo rashihi teja punjam. Teja punjam. Punja is rashi. Punja is a heap. Punja is a large amount of something. In Punjab, there is a surname, Punj. So, it's a nice Sanskrit word. So, if you have a friend whose name is Punj, ask her, Punj Rashi. You are a Rashi of what? Lot of light, lot of sound, lot of brilliance, lot of money. You have a lot of money. Why are you called Punj? You are collection of what? So that friend may not really know. Oh, that's just my surname. My father also was Punj. My grandfather was Punj. She may say. Sarvato Deeptimantam, Sarvatah Deeptihasya Stiti, Sarvato Deeptiman, Tam, Sarvato Deeptimantam. That's the standard way of explaining the compound, breaking it into parts. Pashyami Durnirikshyam, Dukkhen Nirikshaha, Durnirikshaha. Not easy to see. On one hand, you want to see more. You are excited. On the other, it is so bright, you feel like closing your eyes. Samanta sarvatra sarvataha deeptanalarkadyutim analascha arkascha analarkau. Fire and sun together. Analascha arkascha. Analarkau deeptau analarkau deeptanalarkau tayoho deeptanalarkayoho dyutihi va dyutihi tejaha yasya tava sattvam deeptanalarkadyutihi. So again a Vigraha Vakya. Vigraha means breaking, Sandhi means joining. A compound word is formed by joining several words, and Vigraha you break them and explain how the compound samasa is made. Tam tvam deeptana kadyutim aprameyam na prameyam ashakya parichedam. Immeasurable meaning, I can't say you are up to this much. You see something, oh, how heavy is it? You say, well, it's at least 2 pounds. And when you try to lift, no, it must be 10 pounds. Then again you say, no. Then you say, I can't measure this. It's too heavy. So, Aprame, your extent, your grandeur, your glory, your beauty, all of it is simply measurable. I can't say you are this much. Paricheda is to say you are this much and not more. Such kind of putting a limit to you is proving to be not possible. In a few more verses, as I said, going all the way till the 31st verse, you have done up to 17th, another 14 verses. Arjuna goes on and on, praising, describing, submitting, bowing down. He goes so emotional about everything. We'll see from the 18th verse next Wednesday morning. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.